Arguments today are presented with the unwavering belief that our client, Mr. Peterson, is innocent, with the utmost respect. It's important, as we would like to clarify, that any display of empathy should not be considered an admission of guilt.
Girl, you are not going to believe what I just heard about this whole Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion mess. I swear to God, when I tell you, I almost fell out of my chair. Like, the way I gasped. You remember how we were just talking about how he got attacked in prison, and then his team started shouting from the rooftops about all this new evidence.
When evidence was about to come to light, Tory was nearly killed. Let's stop treating this like some cultural war flashpoint. This is about a man, a father, a son, Daystar Peterson, who has sat in a prison cell for over a year based on a case that wouldn't pass the smell test in any honest courtroom.
Claiming they had unseen camera footage and a new witness, they also had DNA retesting results and testimonies from the driver and Kelsey's bodyguard.
I had some glaring questions, and that was the reason for this op-ed. Things didn't make any sense to me. Many issues in this case. There were multiple people with gunshot residue on their hands that night. Why didn't all individuals have the residue tested, their DNA tested on the weapon? According to the prosecution, Tory was excluded from the clip of the gun, and according to Tory's defense team, they said DNA analysis showed that there was a 0.01% chance that Tory touched the actual gun itself. Another piece that stood out to me, the call that the prosecution alleged Tory made confessing to a crime. I didn't hear a confession. But what really shocked me about it is if my best friend was shot maliciously by someone just 2 to 3 hours before, I wouldn't have answered the call, or if I did, I wouldn't calmly have a conversation with the individual of it. And certainly I would ask, why did you shoot my friend?
Well, baby, hold on to your wig, because the courts just came back with a new decision. And let me tell you, it's not looking good, not good at all. But then they started talking about Kelsey, Megan's friend, claiming her testimony was invalid, that she incriminated herself, and that it should be dismissed because the jury heard it anyway. Take a look at this.
Is Megan's friend. They were saying that her testimony was not valid. They want to strike it. They want the court to dismiss her testimony. They feel like her testimony incriminated herself. They feel like the jury heard it anyways, and that's one of the grounds for appeals, that in her testimony she incriminated herself, but the prosecution allowed it anyway. So that's one of the things that they want to take away. So yeah, there's multiple errors in her testimony. It wasn't truthful. They said in the opening statements that the lawyers, I have no idea why there's only one lawyer there. Diddy had, I think, 8 lawyers. Today, they only had 1 lawyer, and she's literally just standing there smoking. Like, I don't understand what's going on with her.
Wait. Did this man just say Diddy had 8 and Tory only has 1 lawyer? Like, what? And she's there smoking on God knows what, while her client is sitting in prison dodging knife attacks from inmates who ain't got nothing to lose? Maybe I'm tripping, but, you know what? Never mind.
His legal team, it was just really bad. Anyways, so they said that they want to disregard Kelsey's statement, testimony. They said that the opening statements from the lawyers, they said dishonest things to the jury. They would like to strike that. And they said in closing arguments, this is what's really important. This was like the bigger takeaway for me. They're talking about the GUN magazine, the DNA and the fingerprints. There was no fingerprints on the GUN or the magazine, and that 90% chance that he did not hold it. But yeah, so the prosecution talked about the jail phone recording and the admission of guilt on his Instagram post. And that's really about it. Honestly, that's it. It was 20 minutes from his lawyer and like 5 minutes from the prosecution. If you ask me, Tory ain't coming home.
What? This dude, don't say that. Oh my God, not coming home is crazy. He was saying Tory needs to hire Diddy's team because his lawyers are trash, like horrible. Apparently, it was a very different courtroom than Diddy's, not as grand, but it was filled with Tory supporters, which was nice, I guess. At the appeal hearing that just wrapped up a couple of hours ago, his father was even there. He did a quick interview with TMZ at first, but then later he wouldn't say a word, probably on strict orders from the lawyers, you know. So, here's the tea. Piping hot from the courtroom, honey. There were 5 judges on the panel, but only 3 were actually judging Tory's appeal, and they had a little bit of diversity, you know, an Asian judge, 1 white woman, and 1 black woman. Tory's lawyers started first, asking for 30 minutes for their oral arguments. And sis, what they went in on, they basically asked for empathy for Tory, which, okay, I guess. They even said the opening statements from the prosecution were dishonest, and they wanted to strike that too. But the really important part, the big takeaway from the hearing, according to this reporter, was about the magazine. They were harping on the same old points, that there were no fingerprints on the or the magazine, and that there's a 90% chance that he did not hold it. Here's the clip.
And there was also problems in closing arguments, which contained inaccuracies, and it presented the evidence in a way that misconstrued the actual results. Here, I'm specifically talking about the DNA evidence. So we heard the prosecutor close the case by telling the jury, don't be fooled when we hear that Mr. Peterson is excluded. But that's not exactly what the evidence said, which they had in their possession. I feel that statement really misled the jury. It may have confused them. It played on their emotions. And we know that that's not appropriate in closing statements. And in order to really understand the weight of that statement in closing, we need to understand what the evidence was that the district attorney had available to them. So as shown in our brief, in our reply brief, as for the magazine, there were 4 DNA profiles discovered on the magazine, none of which that were Mr. Peterson. Therefore, he was excluded from the magazine. As far as the firearm goes, they also found 4 different samples, one of which was a 90% male contributor. But Mr. Peterson was excluded from being that 90% contributor. Therefore, telling the jury, don't be fooled when you hear he's excluded is just not quite as the evidence showed.
Sis sounding a little nervous there. What do you guys think? And this reporter was saying the same thing. If there's a 90% chance it wasn't him, there's still a 10% chance it could be. When you have Megan testifying and saying, yo, he was the one who upped the GUN on me, and other testimonies, and Kelsey's original testimony, this 90% chance DNA being inconclusive, honey, is just not enough. Not enough to overturn a jury's decision. They found him guilty by a jury of his peers, and the fact that no fingerprint was there, to me, is simply not enough to get the whole thing thrown out. His lawyer was literally trying to have the judges overturn it based on Kelsey not being truthful and the DNA being inconclusive, and that was basically it. Like, that's what they came with. They built all this momentum online, saying they had all this new evidence, and then this is what they come up with. I'm disappointed, girl. Then the prosecution got up and they barely had to say anything. They brought up that jail phone recording where Tory admitted on the phone, which was so dumb of him. Like, why would you do that? Now you know those calls are monitored, baby. Here's a little bit of the call for y'all.
This is a free call from
Tory,
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this call.
hello.
Hey.
Y'all got out safe and everything.
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything. Y'all good?
Megan's still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
I said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
I don't know. Let me see. Cedar, something like that. Cedar.
Bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever,
Yeah.
bro. But, you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never moved like that at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
I know. There's a lot that happens, but
A whole lot, bro. Like, a whole lot, bro. I feel crazy, bro. But in this day, like, what happened already, bro. I can't take it back, bro. I'm just telling y'all, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I think it was just too drunk, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I got
And they also brought up his Instagram post where he indirectly admitted to it. His lawyer, bless her heart, tried to argue that celebrities don't run their own Instagram accounts, so the post shouldn't be taken as an admission. But the prosecution shut that down real quick, saying whether it was his social media manager or him, it was still an admission of guilt from his official social media account. And you know what? I totally agree with the prosecution on that one. Now listen, let's back up for a hot minute because some of y'all might still be a little hazy on how we even got here, right? Okay, so rewind way back to when this whole thing started a while ago after some big loud party in California. Allegedly, there was an altercation, and Megan Thee Stallion ended up with some little fragments in her foot, right? She was saying she stepped on glass, remember that? We all heard it. Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the narrative switched, honey. It went from stepped on glass to Tory Lanez did the pew-pew to me. And girl, when I tell you, Tory was like, wait a minute, what is going on? He was saying from the jump, this ain't what y'all think it is. This is about the industry. This is about me not wanting to re-sign my deal and telling other artists to get out of their shady deals too. He was at the peak of his power and he said apparently that the labels wanted him to sign on the dotted line and he wasn't with that. I'm going to go independent and keep all my money for myself, and y'all should too. Now you know that put a huge target on his back because those labels, baby, they depend on artists to make their fortunes. If everybody starts getting smart like Tory was trying to be, then the whole system crumbles. He was saying, they ain't trying to hear me out because they already made up their minds. This is deeper than that night. This is about me trying to disrupt their money-making machine. And that's where this whole Roc Nation conspiracy comes in. According to Tory, Megan's own record label, Roc Nation, they allegedly manufactured his entire takedown. He accused them of straight up maliciously rigging the trial by illegally flipping witnesses, like turning them into snitches, whatever you want to call it, and using Roc Nation's powerful connections to help in the courtroom. I don't know about all that, but okay, Tory. There was also a claim made that Roc Nation had allegedly sent an implanted lawyer into Tory's defense team just to take him down from the inside. Now, if that ain't some wild movie script type mess, I don't know what is. A lawyer on his own team working against him. But there was nothing that could be done and he was just gonna have to serve the time. But then, out of nowhere, a few months back, right after he was, tragically, attacked in prison, his legal team came out swinging, saying they had new evidence that would prove his innocence and set him free. Releasing new, unseen camera footage from the night of the pew-pew, where Meg herself seemed to be telling a completely different story. I heard the footage of the police conversation, and she's saying things like, I didn't get pew-pewed, in glass, where we were coming from, and the police are trying to figure it out, saying, as long as you guys cooperate with us, and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly. Matter of fact, you guys can have a listen for yourselves.
Ma'am, do you think we're gonna go to jail? What's that? Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
Hold up, y'all, just real quick, like, why would someone get shot at and then be like, you think we gonna go to jail? Like, we who? Like, hello?
Just, I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, you know, then I don't think... I really cannot go to jail. Okay. I cannot have that on my image. Okay. So how did that happen to you? Glass. Glass? Where? Where we were coming from. Yeah, can we like shoot the... I'm not from here, so I... Okay. That's the only place you got shot at? Hmm? That's the only place you got shot? I didn't get shot. Oh, you didn't? No, man. I mean, no, sir.
Okay, so y'all heard what I just heard, right? No, I didn't get shot, it was glass? Why would she say that? I'm so confused at this point. And then they also claimed they had a new witness who could confirm that Kelsey, Meg's own best friend, who actually I think they're not even friends anymore, but that's besides the point, was the actual pew-pewer. Along with this footage, his team announced they were filing 2 petitions, one an appeal for a new trial, and the other an attempt to enter this new evidence into the trial. And we were all on the edge of our seats hoping this appeal was granted, not just for Tory, but for the credibility of the courts, for justice, period. But unfortunately, as we just discussed, they said, nuh-uh, honey. They denied both. They didn't even want to consider the testimony of Tory's driver, who never got to testify during the trial because he went missing, only to show up at the end. I don't really understand why bro would go missing if he knew he had information that could work in Tory's favor potentially. So at this point, there's some iffy things on Tory's side of things and as well as Megan's side. So I think I officially withdraw any kind of stance I had on this issue because as of right now, I have no idea what's going on. Let's move on. Don't even get me started on how they're allegedly going after bloggers who are defending Tory or just, reporting what they saw happening in court. Like Milagros, this internet blogger with a smaller audience. During the trial, she was covering it, and her coverage seemed to favor Tory. And honey. After the trial ended, Meg allegedly aimed her attack on Milagros, suing her and publicly attacking her, accusing her of defamation, claiming she was waging a campaign of harassment against her. And recently, Megan's legal team has even requested the courts to order Milagros to pay $5,000 in lawyer fees to Megan's lawyers for failing to comply with a court order to produce digital records, social media, and text messages. Trying to use the court to make someone pay $5,000 just to get access to their social media and text is just something else.
To bring me my money.
And why was Milagros on Meg's radar in the first place? Allegedly, because DJ Academics, during the middle of the trial, brought Milagros on to talk about it. She was attending the trial every day, and Academics would go live watching her live, and eventually, they ended up on a stream together. And that, my friend, seems to have put a target on her back. But honey, speaking of tea, DJ Academics just dropped some crazy footage from the depositions, and let me tell you, it is messy. He posted a video saying why Meg Thee Stallion and Roc Nation lawyers was arguing with me during the deposition, trying to get me to say I believe Meg Thee Stallion. WTF. If Shorty told me it was raining outside, I'd have to go check myself. Too many lies. Just my opinion though, and baby, the audacity. Take a look.
Testified to all of that. At the end of the day, the jury determined that there was sufficient evidence to convict Mr. Lanez, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Which is to say that the jury believed her, right?
Yeah, well.
Objection as to form.
I would imagine they believed her. I don't know if did we do a polling of all these jurors? I mean, they voted overall.
Hold on, Mr. Allen. I think you and I already discussed that the jury came to their decision unanimously, right?
Yeah, but the decision that they came to was that Tory's guilty, not that they believe Meg Thee Stallion and everything she said on the stand. Like, was there a verdict on that? We don't know. I'm just saying I don't believe that chick at all.
Then he follows up with another clip showing actual footage from the Tory Meg Roc Nation deposition, captioning it, Roc Nation's lawyers got paid $1,500 an hour to do this. $1,500 an hour. Honey, can you imagine paying that kind of money just to argue with Academics about whether he believes Meg? Like, I gotta become a Roc Nation lawyer or something at this point because, what? Anyway, the footage is giving courtroom chaos, and I'm here for every second of it. These high-powered lawyers really sat there making bank, trying to get this man to co-sign their narrative. The layers to this whole situation just keep getting deeper and messier by the day. Some Twitter users had a lot to say, like this one user who wrote, "These people are certified stupid. Who gives a damn whether the jury believed that Megan Thee Stallion told the truth, or whether they believe that Tory Lanez shot her when the evidence presented to the jury was lies? The fact that the jury came to a guilty verdict does not prove justice, it proves corruption. Tory Lanez was railroaded. Megan lied about so many things, including fighting Kelsey, moments before the gun went off. Kelsey had gun residue on her hands. Tory's DNA was not on the weapon. He had gun residue from taking the gun away from Kelsey after she fired the weapon. No one else was tested for DNA. The gun was never proved to be his. I get where she got most of her information from, but there's some stuff in there that just sounds like speculation, to me at least. Because sometime later, Meg started her attacks on Milagros. But wait, there's more. What's crazy is that even academics is being dragged into this by Rock Nation and Meg. Take a look at this.
Tory Lanez publicly supported academics. So, everybody loves me. I'm Big Ac. Duh. Finally, let's talk about these academics. Oh, finally. Okay. In February, he tweeted and deleted that Tory Lanez DNA wasn't found in the gun. How the fuck could Meg sue me about this? I'm talking about Tory Lanez's case, and Tory Lanez. First of all, let's go back to what Pop Crave said. Bloggers spreading misinformation about her in Tory Lanez's trial. I believe I made a statement about Tory Lanez's DNA on a gun. It goes to further prove the point that perhaps Meg Thee Stallion is thinking anytime something is reported that might look favorable to Tory, it's something against her, which I've always claimed.
Ac recently revealed that Meg's lawyers have subpoenaed him and he now has to attend a deposition. He was on his live stream, looking stressed, saying he saw some white dude pull up, and he's thinking, oh Lord, it's Rock Nation or Meek or something. And the dude's shirt said legal. He was like, they hit me. Rock Nation hit me with a subpoena yesterday. He's not being sued, but they're suing Milagros, and they want him to be deposed and to get any type of communication he's had with Milagros. He was like, I don't talk to her like that. I got nothing. He was talking about how he doesn't want nothing to do with this and how afraid he is of Rock Nation. He even apologized to Jay-Z and Alex Spiro on stream, saying he sincerely wanted to put an apology out there because Rock Nation apparently is warning academics that if he does something like this again, there will be consequences. This just shows you how corrupt this industry is and who has all the power. Even someone as rich and popular as academics knows not to overstep. Even if he believes what they're doing is wrong, he's forced to shut up. He even said, Jay-Z is the closest black person within hip-hop by a mile to Illuminati status. It's not about money, it's about power. Like, if academics is shook, then you know this is some serious stuff, honey. But let's be real, while Tory's team and his supporters are pushing this narrative about a grand conspiracy, we also got to talk about some of Tory's own actions. Because now you know, some of the stuff he did and his family didn't exactly help his situation. Okay. His daddy, honey, the way he was out there on the courtroom steps, persecuting the prosecution before the decision even came in, and then doubling down afterward. Sis, as much as you want to support your child, and I get it, a parent's love, but you got to control your emotions, especially when you're dealing with this judicial system. They will tax you for that, you hear me? They were probably looking at them like, oh, y'all want to be emotional? Go ahead, but I got this pen. And then
Tory Lanez, convicted of shooting rapper Megan Thee Stallion, sentenced to 10 years in prison.
The maximum sentence. All that strength, all that muscle, all that talk, all that gangster rhythm, it means nothing when you're dealing with this system. You gotta be on your best behavior, even if you're falsely accused. You better respect that courtroom, honey, because they will tax you. And don't even get me started on bringing family to court who don't have no damn sense, who don't understand proper courtroom decorum, showing up in bonnets and flip-flops, cleavage out, pants hanging off their behinds. It costs you, baby.
We got put out. We did not plan the match at all. I think they think that we were being arrogant and trying to make a statement or something. They said put out what? Put out the motherfucking courtroom, bitch. Like I said, the sheriff's deputies and everybody, they had photos of us. They were briefed on us, and this is coming firsthand from the sheriffs.
Yes.
They were briefed on
they
us.
Have photos of us. That is what's crazy.
That's how they stereotype you and say, oh, look at the type of people he hangs out with. That was strike one for a lot of people. And then there was that whole incident where he allegedly tried to rush Megan at Summer Jam or whatever it was in Florida while he was on bond. Honey, he got taken to jail for that. He ended up getting another bond with like $100,000. And you never heard him say, no, I didn't do that. So that was another big misstep while he was trying to prove his innocence. And then, take a look at this. The August Alsina incident, where he and his bodyguards allegedly beat August Alsina up because August didn't want to shake his hand. When you are on bond, when you are out on bail, you are supposed to control yourself. Do you not have the ability to just say, oh, he doesn't want to shake my hand? All right, cool. But no, allegedly he went beat that boy up. And August was even more gangster than him because he didn't say anything. So, for me personally, bro, you get what you get. When you keep doing things like that, it just makes it harder for people to believe your side of the story, even if there's a big conspiracy at play. It's like you're giving them more ammunition. So, baby, right now, Tory is still waiting for another big decision. Even though they denied the new evidence petitions and the appeal hearing today didn't bring anything new to the table, he still has his main appeal coming up, which is basically separate and it challenges the whole entire conviction itself. It was supposed to happen on Monday, August 18th, and it seems like today was that day, and the outcome is not looking good. This is his last shot at trying to get his case dismissed or at least get a new trial. And getting a new trial is extremely hard, no matter who you are, but especially with money in a high-profile case, it can be granted. So, the question is, will he be successful? Will Tory Lanez receive news of a new trial? Or will he just continue to serve those years in prison? It doesn't look good, especially after they just slammed the door on his new evidence and his lawyers didn't bring anything groundbreaking to this appeal. It almost seems like this is his punishment, regardless of the truth, regardless of the conspiracy. This whole thing is just so much deeper than what they want us to believe. And honestly, why am I not surprised? It's the drama of it all. Like, I cannot. What are your thoughts, girl? Do you think they're really trying to keep him in there no matter what? Or is he just facing the consequences of his actions and the actions of his circle? I'm telling you, this tea is piping hot and it keeps getting messier and messier. Drop your comments down below and I will see y'all tomorrow.